What's up, guys? Marcellus Williams, aka TheSwolefessor. Hope you're all having a great 4th of July. By the time you guys see this video, it'll probably be over. So hope you guys had a great 4th of July. Anyway, waiting on Jen. We're about to get a back workout in. Basically, I'm picking all the movements. She's gonna pick the set and rep ranges. And then I'm not gonna do my deadlifts today. I'm gonna do my heavy deadlifts on Thursday. And then I just won't have my variation deadlifts for this week. But yeah, just gonna change it up for the day. It's still gonna be like my usual Tuesdays, which is posterior chain focus, since we're mainly doing like back movements. But anyway, yeah, while that's going on, while this workout's going on, gonna do another voiceover for you guys so that you guys can see, well, I say another, but I don't know if this one's gonna come out first or I think that's Jen right now, honking for me to let her in. Anyway, voiceover, gonna be talking to you guys about like the fact that there's no such thing as a perfect program. So it's gonna be an informative video with the workout footage playing. Let's get into it. Before we do, because it is 4th of July, you already know. Boom, oh come on, clear up, there we go, boom, boom, like Captain America, son. Anyway, let's go.
All right, guys, so getting right into it, as I stated, there is no such thing, guys, as a perfect program. There's not even such thing as a perfect program for you necessarily. And what I mean by that is, no matter how well a program may be custom tailored to you, there's gonna be some aspect of it that could be better in some way. And different programs have different pros and cons. And even the same thing with different training splits. Like I said, even though we know that from a physiological standpoint, full body is the most optimal way to train, just from the fact that you're getting, muscle frequency, for each muscle group at least 3 to 4 times a week, which we understand is important due to how protein synthesis works for every 24 to 48 hours as far as growth in the muscle. Even though you're gonna get, way more practice on all your movements, which is gonna lead to greater progressive overload because, the more often you squat, the better you're gonna get the movement and the more quickly you're gonna be able to progressive overload, for example. And even though we know just for naturals that all the research and science shows that it works better, the fact is, let's say you're somebody where you enjoy being in the gym 6 times a week, then in that case, regardless of how, a full body routine may be better for you physiologically, it may not be best for you psychologically. You may enjoy something like push-pull legs, you may enjoy upper lower, you may even enjoy a bro split, and that's okay. As I've told you guys before, at the end of the day, it's not always just about what's most optimal, it's just about making sure that what you're doing is effective and that you enjoy it. And that's where I really want to get into, guys, because the questions that I often get are, hey, if this is the most optimal way to train, or if this program is really good, then why was I seeing results on this other program as well? Or why is this guy doing so well on this type of program? Or why is this guy doing so well on this type of program? Or why does it seem like this guy's growing faster than me on this type of programming? And aside from things, guys, that I've already gone over before, such as genetics and the fact that, a lot of these dudes that you may follow and gals that you may follow may be enhanced. The reality is, guys, is that no matter what type of split you're on, no matter what type of program you're on, so long as it follows those necessary principles that have to be involved, that we have to pay attention to, things like progressive overload, your max recoverable volume, things like that, then you're going to see results. You're going to make gains regardless. Even if you could be making them at a faster and more optimal rate, it doesn't mean you're not going to make them at all. So this mindset, this thing that people try to do where they literally try to market their programs as like perfect, or like, oh, this would be like the best hypertrophy program you've done. And I'm not downing, I'm not saying that those programs aren't great for hypertrophy or strength or whatever it may be, but when they say this will be the best you've done, that's not necessarily the case, guys. And when they try to make it, and when people like, they go to these programs and they're saying like, oh my gosh, I wasn't making gains at all in my previous program, but now I'm making gains on this one. This program must really just be like the real deal. And the fact is though, guys, it's not that that program was necessarily great. It's that whatever program you were on before was just garbage. Like, being completely blunt and honest, the reality is, guys, like I said, there's no such thing as a perfect program. There's just effective programs and then non-effective programs. That's pretty much it, guys. Like, I wouldn't even go so far as to say that there's like amazing or great programs. It's literally like either it's effective or it's not. Now, it can be great for you from, once again, a psychological standpoint, and then we can look at things from a scientific standpoint of this type of training will be more optimal for this goal than this type of training will. But at the end of the day, like I said, if you're following those principles, if you're making sure your caloric intake's on point for your goals, you're gradually doing more, whether it's through, reps, weight, sets, progressively overloading in some shape or another, and you're making sure that you're doing enough volume to stimulate growth, but not so much that you can't recover from it, you're going to make gains regardless. And I'll put it this way, somebody can be on, a full body routine that's like just set up perfectly for them. Like, I'm talking down to the point where like, hey, the amount of time you're spending in the gym goes in line perfectly with your daily schedule for work. I'm talking like it's that type of custom tailor, like what I tried to do with my own custom tailor programs. And the reality is though, guys, even if it's set up perfectly with all the perfect movements, quote unquote, perfect movements, the reality is, guys, If that person is not progressively overloading, if that person is not looking at their max recoverable volume, if they're, you know, not doing everything that they need to be doing outside of the gym as far as like sleep, eating, everything like that, they're gonna run into a wall. They're not gonna keep making gains. Whereas you can take somebody that's on the most basic bro split where they're only hitting each muscle group once a week, and I can guarantee you, I mean, you guys have seen this yourself, if they're still following those principles, if they're progressing, if they're making sure their max recovery volume is on point, and all those other things, all those other factors that we've gone over on this channel that matter, the things that you have to have no matter what, not just the tools that, you know, can be beneficial, but the things that you have to do to make gains. If they're doing that, then they're gonna see results, guys. They're gonna progress. So that's what it comes down to, guys. It comes down to, does your program follow these basic principles that we know are mandatory in order to see results? If so, then you're going to get results from it. And then from there, it's just a matter of, do you enjoy it or not? Like I said, training in the most optimal way doesn't matter if you're not going to be consistent with it, because the number 2 thing under progressive overload for gains is consistency. I'd much rather have somebody be on push-pull legs, upper lower, or even a bro split if I know they're going to keep up with it and do it for years, versus somebody who tries full body for whatever reason, just absolutely hates it and isn't going to stick with it. Like, that's kind of the standpoint you have to look at it. And I bring this up, guys, because once again, you have all these people who try to make it seem like their programs are just like so perfect and worth all of this money, when it's like, one, there's lots of great programs out there that are already out there for free, guys. You just have to look for them. And 2, it's the reality is that, once again, if you just go from a program that wasn't very effective, where you weren't doing things like that, then that whatever program you get on next, so long as it's following those principles, it's going to be great. And that's the thing that makes a difference, guys. Like, for example, if you go from a program that was set up, let's say you go from a full body routine, but you weren't progressively overloading, to where you go to some type of, max hypertrophy bro split, and you start seeing gains, I can almost absolutely guarantee you that it's not because that split was better that your training is suddenly more optimal. It's the fact that on that program, they probably have you progressively overloading in some way or another. Whereas on that full body routine, even though you had a more optimum setup, you aren't executing it correctly. And I think it's really important for people to understand that difference. Even with me, I often get asked all the time, Marcellus, why are you only charging $20 for your custom made programs? And I'm flattered by that. I'm honored that people think that I should be charging a bit more. But here's the thing. Number one, as I said, there's already a bunch of great free programs out there written by people who are even more knowledgeable and far more qualified than what I am, or at least from my point of view. But what you're paying that $20 for, guys, is the time that I take to custom tailor it to your specific needs and your lifestyle. What I mean by that is, those of you who have like gotten a program from me can attest to this. You know that I figure, okay, well, what type of training split do you like? Push, pull legs, upper, lower, full body. Bro split is the one thing that I won't do. Like, you have to have very, very special circumstances. I'm talking like write me an entire letter of how much you're just in love with bro splits for me to make that type of split for you, just because I know it's suboptimal and there's really no reason to do it. But with that being said, if that's something that somebody wants, like I said, it's custom tailored to you, then I'll do that. So aside from just setting up the split the way you want, I ask you all those detailed questions like, okay, what muscle groups do you want to focus on? How long have you been lifting? Are you really focused on primarily strength or hypertrophy, even though they go hand in hand? Are you a power lifter? Are you looking at bodybuilding? Are you looking just for general health and fitness? And are there any movements you absolutely want included? Any movements you absolutely want excluded? What type of accessory work do you enjoy? I ask as much details as I can. And even things like, like how many days a week are you available to lift? What's your work schedule? Like, how long do you want to be in the gym? I try to make it as custom tailored to you in that way, guys, but that's what you're paying for. But across the board, if you guys were to compare programs, you would see that even if it's someone like where one guy's on a push-pull leg and one guy's on a full body, and you have like very different movements, the reality is those same basic principles all apply. If you guys who've bought programs from me, you'll see the important notes section where I talk about the importance of progressive overload, about, what happens if you hit a stall on weight and how it's okay, just keep progressing on the reps until you hit the designated sets and reps, then increase it. Like, I put all those same basic principles and explain those principles in all of my programs, guys. And that's why you'll see people buy programs from me who are on push-pull legs and are getting great results. But at the same time, you'll see people who are on full body or upper lower and getting great results, because that's why I did this video. Because I'm getting so many messages where like people who have gotten programs from me are now seeing other people who've gotten programs from me, and they're like, I don't understand, like, how come they seem to be making good results too, but I'm on the quote-unquote more optimal way of training? Well, because they're following those principles that need to be involved in any type of program. So they're all going to get results. It's not to say that one wouldn't get faster results if they were on a different type of split, but ultimately progressive overload, consistency, max recoverable volume, the proper amount of accessory work, not overdoing it, but not doing, you know, too little. All of that, guys, that's what makes or breaks a good program. It's really that easy. It's really that simple. And you know what? A lot of people who watch this video, what maybe they sell programs or they have their own program they sell, they may not like this because it may seem like I'm discounting their programming, but I'm not doing that, guys. I'm not doing that at all. By all means, buy people's programs. Like, you know, when there's a need or a demand, people are gonna buy, and that's okay. And I'm not one of these guys who's opposed to making money through fitness. I just want people to go about it the right way. Just be honest. Like, people need to understand why a program works, why a program is effective or isn't effective. Because, like, once again, people will make it seem like all this special extra fluff and puff stuff they're throwing in the programming, so that's what's making the huge difference. When really, it's just those basic principles. That's why it's working. It's those basic principles and the fact that you enjoy it and are being consistent with it. That's why you're seeing results. Like I said, you can have the most optimal setup, but if you're not following those basic principles, you're not going to make gains. Whereas you can have a subpar, like the worst training split with like the least effective movements ever. Like, I'm talking like all isolation work. But guess what? If you're progressing on those, you're still going to do a lot better than somebody who's only focused with something like, say, you know, compound movements, primarily compound movements with the right amount of accessory work, all that good jazz. But unfortunately, they aren't progressively overloading, or they're doing way more volume than what they can handle, or they're not doing enough volume as a whole, like one set per movement. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. I hope you enjoy it. If you guys are curious about this workout, go ahead and check in the description box. It'll be at the very bottom. This is, like I said, a very high volume, more quote unquote bodybuilding style workout. I picked all the movements. Jim's picked all the set and rep ranges. Everything was pretty much sets of 15. And with each set, because we did like 4 sets each movement, we pretty much increased the weight. So pyramid style. Anyway, yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of this video, and I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, guys. Yeah, I should have done this side, but it's all good.
I can't see. It's this as much.
It's okay. You don't need to see it. You just need to hear. So, just did that high volume bodybuilder. I can't even talk. Bodybuilder style workout. I picked all the movements. Jim picked all the rep ranges and sets. Yeah. Honestly, like, I haven't done anything that high volume since I was on push-pull legs, which was like months ago. So I'll take the L. I got the strength, she got the endurance. It's all good, but nah, great workout, guys. I'll have it in the description down below. As always, like I said, I'll be doing a voiceover for this, talking to you guys about how, like, there's no such thing as a perfect program. Different programs have different pros and cons, and whatever else I decide to talk to you guys about during this. A lot of workout footage, so should be a nice, decent video. Anyway, that's it. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you did. If you did not enjoy the video, leave a comment down below. Let me know what I or Jen can do to get better. Like the video, share, subscribe, keep it simple, specific, scientific. I'll catch y'all later.